Wars movies. In today's video, we're going to be doing a tier list on Star Wars movies. That includes every single Star Wars movie from the originals to the prequels to the sequels to Solo Story to Rogue One. We're going to be doing a tier list of all of them in today's video. I didn't mention I was eventually going to get to this video, and in this video today, we're going to be doing that. It's going to be an epic video, so stick around all the way to the end. Comment down below your order of the Star Wars movies, how you would rank all the Star Wars movies in your order from the order. You don't have not like the tier list order from like 1 to how many is there? There's like 6 in the original, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All 13 movies. Comment down below your list of all 13 movies. Anyways, we're going to be getting into the tier list. Yes, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I absolutely love Star Wars. So, it will be an interesting video to make on a channel about wrestling. I'm finally getting to talk about Star Wars. Let's freaking do it. But we're going to have an absolute rant on how bad the new movies are. Okay, so I kept it quite simple with the tier list. We got Jedi Master, great, good, okay, bad. Jedi Master being the absolute best movie, and only one can go into Jedi Master. So you should know that only one will make it into Jedi Master. So I'm not going to give anything away. So let's get into the Star Wars movie tier list. Now, I'm going to be doing this in a timeline order in Star Wars, not the release date, where not the release date that they were out, not that timeline order. Excuse me, the timeline order of the Star Wars timeline order. So it's basically from the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. Then Solo Story is next. I checked this. Then it is Rogue One. Then it's A New Hope. Then Empire. Then Return of the Jedi. And then it's the sequels. So yeah, you get it. Anyways, so we're going to be starting with The Phantom Menace. Star Wars The Phantom Menace. The most hated Star Wars, could be, out of the originals and prequels, this is the most hated Star Wars movie. And I really don't understand it. I really, really, really like Phantom Menace. I would go as far as saying I love The Phantom Menace. I love this movie. I honestly have never understood the hate. The story of Qui-Gon and Obi is quite cool. You get Qui-Gon Jinn. One of the better Jedis outside of Anakin and Obi, Yoda, Mace Windu. Who do you have after? Oh, sorry, and Luke. But I'm talking prequels here. I'm talking about the prequels Jedis. Qui-Gon Jinn is one of the coolest Jedis in the prequels Jedis. So Qui-Gon Jinn's a cool character. I like young Obi. He's not the best, you know. Obi-Wan definitely gets better in Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. Darth Maul, great villain. Darth Maul is so cool. The end lightsaber duel between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Darth Maul is cinema, pure cinema. I love that scene. The pod race scene with Anakin. This is just a really fun movie. Qui-Gon ends up seeing the chosen one in Anakin. He ends up seeing that he is the chosen one. Obi doesn't see it yet. Obi-Wan doesn't see it yet in Anakin. Then Qui-Gon dies and asks Obi-Wan to train Anakin, show him the ways of the Force. And that's what ends up happening in the next movie. This is a great setup for a brilliant trilogy of 3 movies, which I absolutely love. The prequel movies are my absolute favorites. I love the prequels. They are some of them are so hated. Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace are so hated, but a lot of people love Revenge of the Sith, which I get it. You know what? I'm going to get hate for this, but I'm putting this in great. You can hate all you want in the comments, but I don't care, man. I absolutely love this movie. Next up, we have got Attack of the Clones, another really hated Star Wars movie. You see Anakin, Hayden Christensen, who is older now. You see Obi-Wan, who is a lot more different from the first movie. He's a lot more mature, and he's a Jedi Master now. He was a Padawan in the first one. Now Anakin's a Padawan in this movie. It's really good. The first scene of this movie, where Anakin and Obi are protecting Padme. It's like the first start of the movie. And then there's the person after Padme, who's trying to kill her, and then they have like the whole chase scene where they're trying to get this person who was sent by Jango Fett, as Jango Fett is working with the Sith, and there's the Clone Wars basically in this movie. It's the Attack of the Clones. The clones are trying to kill Padme. The Sith are trying to kill Padme because she's a big deal. In the politics side of things. So yeah, this is just an absolute phenomenal movie as well. And then Obi-Wan ends up getting captured. He goes to find out what's going on with the whole Jango Fett thing, and then he goes out to find Jango Fett, and he finds him, and he finds basically, I'm not going to give that much more of the lore, so I'm really doing the lore of this movie, I'm really doing this as quick as I can. He goes out, and Count Dooku captures Obi, and then they're all there, and then Anakin and Padme come to capture Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then you get that sick fight scene with all of the Jedis, and then before that they're all tied up to the poles, Padme, Anakin, and Obi. I love that scene so much. I love this movie. And then you get the duel you get Yoda in this movie. You get a duel with Yoda in this movie where Yoda is facing Count Dooku. You got Obi and Anakin versus Count Dooku, where Anakin's just going out at Count Dooku. Count Dooku's really cool in this movie. The love story between Anakin and Padme across the stars. Oh my god, come on. You cannot tell me that this is a bad movie. I don't care. Yes, it had some cringy dialogue. Anakin's had some cringy ass words, but to me it just comes off funny. I hate sand. It's coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere. Like it's almost just. It's just funny, man. I don't know. I love this movie. I don't know why it gets so much hate. Like literally, I don't get the hate for this movie. Actually. Nah, I was gonna say this could be the best second Star Wars movie, but I had to wipe my nose. Sorry, but what's it called? People will say Empire. Anyways, I gotta put it in a tier list. I'm putting it in great. Yeah, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. I'm gonna put it in great. It goes ahead of Attack of the Clones, though. That is the only thing. I was moving my mic there. Sorry about that. We're going on to the best movie of them all. Revenge of the Sith. This is my favorite Star Wars movie. One of my favorite movies of all time is Revenge of the Sith. I absolutely love Revenge of the Sith. It is the best movie, in my opinion, where the villains win. Any movie. This and Infinity War, the best movies where the villains win. Tell me a movie where a villain wins other than Revenge of the Sith and Infinity War. There's not that many. There really is not that many. The ending between Anakin and Obi-Wan in Mustafar, that fight scene, that is the best lightsaber fight of all time. Nothing comes close. Then Obi wins, Anakin gets burnt, he goes on to become Darth Vader. This is the best Star Wars movie. I love this movie so much. There was a 3-hour version of this movie. Should have been released. We were robbed. General Grievous is really cool in this movie as well. Obi-Wan kills him. I love that scene. Anakin, you see the Anakin relationship. Anakin and Palpatine's relationship in this movie is really, really cool. The scene where Palpatine tells Anakin about Darth Plagueis, cinema. This movie is pure cinema. I absolutely love it. Sidious versus Yoda. The movie is solo story. A solo story. Not a bad movie. Yes, it's the next in the timeline. That's why I'm doing it. When I look back at this movie, the few cool things about this movie, in my opinion, are Han Solo. The guy who plays Han Solo, really, really cool. I like him. I think he fits a young Han Solo. Chewbacca, Lando Calrissian, Darth Maul at the end. That's it. That's everything cool about it. It's basically just a cool Han Solo origin story. That's what the movie is. But it's just, yeah, it's just cool. It's not like, oh my god, that was amazing, that was incredible. Do we really need this movie? Not really. Do we desperately need this movie? Not really. It doesn't really add that much to Han Solo. I already love Han Solo. I already think he's a top tier, great character. But it doesn't add like that much, is basically what I'm saying. It didn't change my mind on Han Solo. Didn't make me love his character anymore. Just gave me his backstory. See, I already loved Han Solo and always thought he was a top tier character because Harrison Ford just is an incredible Han Solo. The villain in this, oh my god, Thomas Beckett or something. I'll maybe put a picture of him on the screen. If you watch this movie, you remember the villain. I'll probably have a poster of the movie on the screen or something. Yeah, he's alright. You know, he's not bad. He's forgettable. There's some forgettable things in this movie. I swear this has to be the darkest Star Wars movie as well. Kind of feels like an episode, but we don't need a show of this. I'll put this in good. What's his name? They are giving Lando Calrissian a TV show. Not needed. If you wanted to do a TV show, do a solo story TV show, but it's not even needed. Donald Glover plays him, also known as Childish Gambino. I actually really like him as Lando. I said he was one of the best things about this movie. A Rogue One Star Wars story. I'm not the biggest Rogue One fan. I'm going to be honest with you. Jenna Russo, cool character. Her story that her dad is the person who helped with the Death Star, pretty cool. A Star Wars movie where we don't need lightsabers in it, it's cool, but I feel like I've always kind of preferred Solo than this. So I think Solo does that better. I know we have the Darth Vader scene at the end. Sick scene. The Darth Vader scene at the end, incredible. The main thing about this is the Republic get the Death Star plans. That's it. That's pretty much about it. The Republic versus them. They die. They blow up the planet, the thing. I didn't like the first Death Star, or like the Death Star prototype or something like that. They blow up a planet. I can't completely remember. It's been ages since I've seen this movie. And then they get the Death Star plans to Princess Leia, and that's the movie. Everyone else dies. Jenna Russo's cool. The main guy is cool. Something Endor, and the blind guy is cool. And then I like the blind guy as well. He's a really cool. I thought he was funny. He was a cool character. And then his friend was kind of cool as well. Cassian Andor is the main guy. Yeah, you know, there's some cool things about this movie. Is it incredible? No. Is it an amazing movie? No. It's just a good movie. I don't know. I've never been the biggest Rogue One fan. It's a cool movie, but if you watch this movie again, like second time watching it, third time watching it, the kind of thing that brings it down for me is you know everyone dies, so you're watching a movie where you know the ending is where everyone dies. See, when you're watching a movie and the other characters don't die, it's like, you know, it leads on to something else, or maybe you just watch the movie for watching the movie. Like, you just kind of know what's going to happen. I know you obviously know what's going to happen after you watch a movie the first time. You obviously know the ending. Yeah, obviously. But this might be one of these movies where the first two times you see it, it's kind of the best. You know? Every time I watch it as well, it kind of comes off a bit boring and forgettable. So, it's just, eh. And the next movie to this, of course, in timeline, is A New Hope. Are any of these characters in A New Hope? Nope. So, I could almost go okay. But I'll put these in good, because they're not bad movies. So, yeah. They do. The final planet that they are on in this movie at the very end is sick. That also is cool. So it does add some cool things to Star Wars. I would say Rogue One is better than some of the sequels. We're moving on to A New Hope. My favorite movie out of the originals is A New Hope. If you asked me, what's your favorite original movie? I would straight away, wouldn't even hold back, I would say A New Hope. Because most people think it's got to be Empire, right? No. My favorite movie is A New Hope. My favorite original Star Wars movie, A New Hope. I love A New Hope. It is the best first Star Wars movie. The best last Star Wars movie is Revenge of the Sith. And the best second Star Wars movie is Empire Strikes Back. There you have that. Best first, originals, A New Hope. Best second, originals, Empire. Best last movie, Revenge of the Sith. I actually could go the best second movie, though, to be Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones and Empire Strikes Back are on par for me. They're pretty much on par, so I'm going to say on par. I don't know. I love both of those movies, and people will be like, "Oh my God, Empire Strikes Back is better than, it's better than it's Attack of the Clones." Nah, I love Attack of the Clones. Don't hate the movie, man. Like, come on. Empire also does have some forgettable things. I'm sorry, Empire Strikes Back could be an overrated Star Wars movie. Yes, the ending is iconic. Yes, the ending is iconic, but the ending of Revenge of the Sith is also iconic, isn't it? So yeah, it could be a little overrated. A tad bit overrated, because there is some parts where it's kind of just a bit boring. Kind of like with the parts with Lando and Vader. A little bored. But anyways, I gotta get into where I'm gonna put A New Hope. I love this movie. Best start to any Star Wars trilogy, in my opinion, 100%. The story between Luke, incredible, of Luke becoming a Jedi, getting teached by old Ben, old Kenobi. I'm not the biggest fan of Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it's mainly because of the lightsaber scene between him and Vader. But I get it; it wasn't the best back then, so it's still good. Anyways, I love this movie from start to finish. This is just a fun movie. Han Solo. Luke. Oh, I botched it. Them getting the medals at the end as well is really, really cool. And then Chewie doesn't get a medal, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, Han Solo as well is really cool in this movie. He's kind of just a smuggler, and then he becomes a really good asset to the. About this movie for too long. And when they see the Death Star, that's such a good scene. I'm basically just going to say this real quick. The chemistry between Luke, Han, old Ben, Leia. I know Chewbacca doesn't speak, but Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, incredible. Vader, everything, just incredible. I'm going to put this, great. You know what? I'm going to put it ahead of Attack of the Clones. I don't know, I love it. The ending of this movie as well, where Luke, Obi was like in his head, he's telling him, use the Force, Luke. And then Luke ends up blowing up the Death Star. Come on. Cinema. Yeah, I don't know. I love this movie. I've always been a big New Hope fan. I don't know, just when I'm watching it, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really in the movie. I'm really just, after I'm watching it, I'm like, that was a damn good movie. Every time I watch it, I've really enjoyed it, and I love this movie. So I'm going to put it there. Moving on, we're going to be going with Empire Strikes Back. I'm about to get hate over it. This, tad bit overrated. I'm not putting it good, don't worry. Tad bit overrated. Tad bit. I like Empire. I'm a fan of Empire. Yes, there's some good stuff. Hoth, really, really cool. I love the scenes in Hoth, the snow. Han Solo and Leia form a romantic relationship in this movie. Pretty cool. Yoda teaching Luke. Some of the best scenes in this movie have to be with Yoda. Yoda is so funny. Luke goes out, he finds the Jedi Master, and he's like, "You're the Jedi Master?" Where Yoda's like an absolute goof, and he's just like he's a puppet, of course, but he's like a joke, he's not like that real serious Yoda that we get in the prequels. It's a different Yoda, which makes me laugh, where you have Luke and Yoda training, which is incredible. Luke then goes back to help his friends. And then you get the epic lightsaber scene between Vader and Luke. Luke ends up losing, of course, where he gets his hand chopped off. He pretty much takes the L there. Vader says, "I'm your father." Luke says, "No." That's pretty much that. That scene's pretty much over. Yeah, that's pretty much how the movie ends. So yeah, incredible movie. I will put this in great. And I have it on par with Attack of the Clones. It's on par with Attack of the Clones for me. So yeah, I love this movie. Okay, Star Wars Return of the Jedi. As a kid, I loved this movie. As a kid, I think this was like one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Maybe might have been it. Like years back. I'm 19 now, so I'm talking about years ago. But my opinion has changed so much on this movie. It has to be the most boring Star Wars movie out of the prequels and originals. This could be actually prequels, originals, sequels. This is probably could be one of the most boring Star Wars movies. I don't know. I don't know, man, what it is about this movie. There's so much talking. You take the Ewoks out of this movie, you take Endor out of this movie. In my opinion, this movie probably would have sucked in a way. It would have been pretty bad if you didn't have Endor in it. Endor really saves this movie for me. I love the scenes in Endor. The scenes in Endor, are literally the best scenes in this damn movie. And then the scenes in then the scenes with Jabba at the start of the movie, and Jabba the Hutt's thing is at the start. Is cool. And then when they're in Tatooine, those scenes are cool. Tatooine scenes into Endor really makes this movie. But towards where it's just Luke, Vader, Palpatine, so much damn talking. I swear it can get boring in this movie. But there is some good things, like I said. Endor, the Luke Vader scene is pretty cool at the end, where Luke saves Vader. Not saves him, but Vader turns to the light again. Yeah, you got my point. You've seen the movie. I'm gonna put Return of the Jedi. Oh god, this is hard. I'm almost placing this in good. I'm almost gonna place this in good. I don't know, man. Is it a great movie? You know what? For the ending, and all the ending of the movie is really, really good. And then there's some really good stuff in here. Endor, Tatooine, some of the Luke stuff with Vader is good, but there's a lot of it that is boring. The Ewoks, Han and Leia, just in Endor is pretty cool. Also, still a very enjoyable movie, but there's a lot of boring scenes in it. So overall, I'm gonna put this in great. I'm gonna stop rambling. This is where the rant kicks off, and I'm putting it below Phantom Menace. This is where the rant kicks off. Star Wars: The Force Awakens, an actual good start to a terrible trilogy. Literally. Terrible trilogy, man. That you get introduced to a set of new characters where you got Rey, you got Kylo, you got Poe, you got Finn. Believe it? I think when I first watched this movie, when I seen this in cinemas, I loved it. I thought it was great. And I actually still think this is actually a really solid movie. And I was a big fan of Kylo Ren, and I was a big fan of Finn and Poe. I liked Poe, Finn, and Kylo Ren. The only one of those characters that did anything towards the end of these movies and was an actual good character and they didn't waste was Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is the best character in this trilogy. It's a good first movie. I think Finn, I personally think, obviously Rey was going to be the Jedi, right? Because Rey had the story. I don't think it would. I don't like Rey though. I just don't like Rey. I maybe think Finn would have been a more cooler option to go. Finn would have been a better Jedi if they went in that direction and they gave Finn the Force and they didn't really do the Rey Kylo thing. Maybe it wouldn't have been better. I'm just not the biggest fan of Rey. And might come at me saying female. No, Padme. I think Padme is like a top tier Star Wars character. I like Padme, and not just because she's good looking, because she's a good character. So yeah. Anyways, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Where are we putting this? Good movie. It's a good start. It's pretty much a copy and paste of A New Hope, but just not done as good. And you got old Han Solo in there, and Leia. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's a good movie though. And Snoke is also in The Force Awakens, which was a cool character. Actually got a lot of people talking online on who this guy actually was, which was cool. You know the Jedi that Anakin doesn't kill in Revenge of the Sith? Sorry, not the Jedi. The youngling. My mind. The youngling. People were saying that was Snoke. But no, you know what Snoke was? Snoke was a clone that Palpatine made. What a load of shit that was. So yeah, this movie also could go in great, but it goes in good for what comes next. So yeah, also I'm not doing the Clone Wars. That was just on this tier list, so I couldn't actually find a Star Wars tier list on movies. Crazy. The next movie, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. My God, they ruined everything with this movie. This is probably the worst Star Wars movie. This is probably worse than the next one because they destroyed everything that was somewhat interesting in this movie. Snoke? Nah. Kill Snoke. That's it. Snoke, you're dead. Finn? Make him go to some casino planet and have a love interest with a character that no one really ended up caring about. No. No one cared about Rose. Poe? Can't even remember what Poe does in this movie. I think Poe just sits in his ship the whole time with Princess Leia. I think that's all he actually does. Does Poe do anything in this movie? Maybe just something in the final scene where it's like I'll have maybe an image on the screen. You can see like the ships down the screen where it's like in the red and white planet. Maybe he's in like those things going towards the Sith. I can't even remember the bloody name. The Empire. What do they call the Empire in these bloody movies again? There's like a new name for them. The New Empire or some shit. What is this called again? I'm gonna look this up. You know what? I'll just say it into Google as we're doing the video. What is the name of the new empire in Star Wars The Last Jedi? They say it in The New Empire. It's literally just called The New Empire. Okay, cool. The New Empire then. They say it in The Force Awakens. So yeah, maybe it's that scene that he's in. Maybe that's what he does. Yeah, pretty shitty movie. Okay. This is just an okay Star Wars movie. Luke isn't the greatest in this movie as well. He's just cranky. He's teaching Rey. He doesn't want to teach Rey. He wants to teach Rey. Ugh, so bad. Take this, Luke teaching Rey, and compare it to Yoda teaching Luke. Terrible compared to Yoda. Yoda teaching Luke, 10 out of 10. Rey bloody Luke teaching Rey, like a 5 out of 10. Some of the pretty bad scenes, and then he basically tells them about Kylo Ren and how he tells Rey and how he failed Kylo Ren, which is some dumbass logic. Where why did he want to bloody kill him? Luke was like, you know what? I see the dark side in him. I'm gonna kill him. This is the same guy that brought Darth Vader to the light side. I know he was his son, but he was also still related to Kylo Ren. So Luke was like, you know what? I'm gonna kill him. Absolutely fucking stupid. Yeah, this movie is a complete disaster. Other than the snow planet, where it's like red, it's like white and red bloodish kind of thing on the ground. The scene where Rey and Kylo Ren destroyed the red-looking guard stormtroopers. That's pretty much it. There's nothing else that's really that good in this movie. It's actually it's probably the worst Star Wars movie, to be honest. It's kind of a disaster because they just kill everything that works. We're moving on. I don't know. What else can I even say about this? The Rise of Skywalker. The dumbest name out of all these movies. The Rise of Skywalker. Rey isn't even a Skywalker. She's a fucking Palpatine as well. So, Rey, you should have said, I am Rey Palpatine, not bloody Rey Skywalker. We get the worst line in movie history of bloody ending. Terrible. This is also a disaster of a movie. This is okay as well. I'm going to put this in okay. I'm going to just talk about why I think it's an okay. Literally, because Palpatine returned somehow. That's their logic for Palpatine returning. Palpatine is also teaching Kylo Ren. So then, it's like, what? This is kind of weird. Palpatine's like a bloody guy who's basically connected to life support now. Pretty ass. Pretty goddamn shit movie, if you ask me. This movie is also pretty bad. This is pretty much maybe cooler because this movie has some cooler things. Like the ending where they have like the bloody gigantic Avengers Endgame scene. Not a bad scene. Kind of cool. Lando Calrissian showing up. That was kind of cool. I dig that. The scene between Force Han Solo. I don't know how Han Solo has the Force now. Doesn't matter. But the scene between Han Solo and Kylo Ren, kind of cool. But I don't know why Han Solo has this Force. But whatever. Disney makes anyone use the Force. And then they introduce healing in this movie. So you're telling me Qui-Gon Jinn couldn't have got healed all those years ago? Rey heals Kylo. Then Kylo heals Rey. Shit. And you're telling me that, Rey's just a Palpatine. Somehow Palpatine went off and had a daughter. I think he had a daughter or a son. Either one. I think it was either a daughter or a son. I can't remember. Palpatine had a fucking kid, though. When? Why? It was Palpatine. Why? Did he want to have a kid to become a bloody another Sith? That made no fucking sense as well. I could almost put these movies in bad. You know what? Should I put these movies in bad? Alright, you know what? I'm gonna just go okay. Anyways, that was the tier list. Thank you, love, for watching. I did actually move The Last Jedi down to bad because I actually do genuinely think that that is the worst Star Wars movie because it had potential but was garbage. They killed Snoke, who was cool. They did absolutely nothing with Finn and Poe in this movie. And Luke was an absolute grump who ends up dying for sacrificing himself as a Force ghost, Force spirit thing against Kylo Ren. Pretty bad. Yeah, some writing in the new movie is terrible. The part where they they break through, what is it? They break through like some fucking thing in the what's it bloody called? The Rise of Skywalker. Oh no, sorry, it's the last Jedi that they do this shit. They like They break through something. They break through hyperspace or something in some really messed up, fucked up logic way where they do some stupid thing. I don't know. That scene was awful as well in The Last Jedi. Yeah, this is just the worst Star Wars movie, probably. The logic in these movies is pretty shit. But anyways, that was it. You can see the tier lists are the tiers are they are, so I'm not gonna bother calling them out. If you enjoyed this video, comment down below and let me know if you want to see me do Star Wars characters. That would be probably an even bigger rant because we get to read about the Star Wars characters from the prequels, so that would be fun. Did I say the prequels? The sequels. I always get these mixed. Sometimes I get these mixed. Prequels are my favorites. The sequels. We get to rant about the sequels characters, so that'll be fun. I will most likely be making a tier list on Star Wars characters, but I just have to minimize it down because there's so many Star Wars characters where it's basically going to be Jedis, side characters, and Sith, obviously. Jedi, Siths, and like other things. Like, that aren't fucking Jedis or Siths. Like Han Solo. And you get my point. Anyways, well, Han Solo is a Jedi now because he has the Force, so yeah. He technically counts as a Jedi now. Anyways, because what they do in The Last Jedi. Or not The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker. Thank you a lot for watching. And may the Force be with you.